Hey y'all, it's me Tiffany and welcome back to my channel. So I decided I wanted to read a little Wonder Woman. So I read Wonder Woman Volume 1, The Lies, and Wonder Woman Hiketeia. I hope I'm saying that right, but that's what it sounded like most people were saying, Hiketeia. Both are written by Greg Rucka. He seems to probably be the most influential name in Wonder Woman. If not the most, he's definitely like in the top 2. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first one I want to talk about is Wonder Woman The Lies. So I haven't read a ton of Wonder Woman, but I've read little bits and pieces here and there throughout the years. And this was basically to fix like the New 52 because honestly, I was not a fan of how they did Wonder Woman in the New 52. They basically got rid of her being made of clay origin story, and they're all descendants of Olympus's giant man whore, everybody's daddy. And it kind of made it feel a little less feminist to me, and I can understand why like Rucka wanted to go back to them being made of clay, and I think he really understands the character and trying to return Diana back to her roots. I appreciate it. I appreciate how much he seems to fully understand her as a character and her need to be female empowerment. Okay, so one thing I actually had to look up because when I was reading and I saw the issue numbers, I got really confused. This is all the odd numbers and volume 2 is all the even numbers, saying that I have not read volume 2 yet. I do plan to. I'm glad I read this in a collected version. I don't usually read issues as they come out, usually, but I'm glad I did not do it with this. I just imagine it would have been frustrating because apparently all the odd numbers are set in the past and the even numbers are set in the present, and they took them out and put them in 2 volumes according to whether they're odd or even numbers. So I'm assuming there was probably complaints about it being confusing and weird, especially if things come out monthly. So if you were enjoying this one and not the other, you basically have to wait 2 months. And you know, I'm just glad, but it still make like coherent sense, you know, like the first 2 issues I didn't notice, but then I noticed that the numbers were odd numbers, and I was like, huh, you know, like it took me a second. And then I looked up some reviews and stuff, and a lot of people were actually saying they're glad they did this, and a lot of people complained about when they were reading individual issues, like what I said. So I'm assuming those issues came up while they were coming out as well. So I want to say that the art is absolutely gorgeous. I loved it. Honestly, I think this starts off very lackluster. Diana notices that she's been lied to, and she's been told a lot of lies throughout the years, and she's kind of remembering past origin stories because, you know, they're trying to fix the classic and the New 52, merge them together to kind of do the rebirth. And she's just sitting there trying to figure out the truth as she's going through the jungle. Okay, so Steve, Trevor, and Cheetah are mentioned in this. Makes sense. Steve Trevor's kind of reimagined as a special forces operator, and the way they do his dialogue and his character doesn't necessarily feel authentic. Like the topics he talks about doesn't really fit the scenario that they're in. But he kind of still has like a Steve Rogers kind of vibe too. And it's just, I didn't really like the way they did him. Cheetah's kind of like a lost friend who Diana is trying to save because Cheetah's trying to get back at the god who cursed her. Okay, so this is a reboot basically, right? Like as I mentioned, but it does a good job of kind of sweeping a lot of the garbage from like past issues, and Diana, Wonder Woman, still feels like her character, so you can definitely tell Greg Rucka truly understands Wonder Woman. But even though, like I said, you know, this is the odd number issues and they're even, they don't really go together as much. This kind of went pretty slow, even though it's super short, and it felt like information was missing. I'm not fully sure if reading volume 2 may have little, you know, piecelets that I can like throw in here and it makes sense, but this as a whole it did feel like some things were missing. Overall, I thought it was decent. I thought it was okay, but it definitely was not the best Wonder Woman I have read. So the second one I read is much shorter, and I did enjoy it better. Also written by Greg Rucka. Wonder Woman, Hiketeia, and basically Wonder Woman beats Batman in this. So Hiketeia is an ancient ritual, basically like where a poor person or a person of a lower class needs help from somebody who's higher up. So they basically become a servant to the person they're requesting help from. But the person that's helping them cannot just like, or they're not supposed to abuse them. There's like rules set in place. They're supposed to protect their servant, stuff like that. And there's consequences if you. So that's basically the idea around this. And I think it's an interesting concept to make a story about. So Danielle Wellies goes to Wonder Woman and asks to do the Hiketeia. Wonder Woman is curious, like she knows about the ritual, but it doesn't seem to be commonly done. She accepts it, and then Batman comes to basically arrest her ward. So Danielle Wellies is wanted by the Gotham PD. She is very knowledgeable about ancient customs, and that's why she does go to Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman did not seem to know this before she agreed to it. And Batman is the one who is on the case. Batman basically just sees her as a murderer, and honestly with the murders that Danielle Wellies did, there's more than meets the eye with it, but Batman doesn't care. He just wants to arrest her. Wonder Woman knows that Danielle is hiding secrets, but she's trying her best not to force a tell, and she basically whoops Batman's booty. And you know, this is basically like a Greek tragedy, and I love the whole idea of it. And you know, there's some more Greek weirdos that are watching them, and Wonder Woman stays true to herself and honors the agreement she has made. You know, she's gonna do whatever she can to protect the person who dedicated herself to her. So I love the artwork in this. It's definitely more muted than the last one, even though there's still, I mean, the coloring's still good. And I'm sure it's muted just because Batman plays such a big role in this story. And it's just gorgeous. I think the character designs look good, the coloring looks good, penciling, all that stuff, right? Honestly, the only complaint I have about this is I think the actual story is less than 100 pages, so it goes by too quick. I think it would have been amazing to expand a few more issues so it could just go a little slower. We get more about Danielle, more about Wonder Woman, more about, you know, this custom, more about like maybe consequences, more about Batman's investigation. But overall, this has to be one of the best Wonder Woman stories I've read. I haven't read a ton, but I have dabbled, as I said earlier in this video. And I think if you're going to have to pick up Wonder Woman, this, if you know her origin story at least, just so you know the character, I think this is a good random mini-series to pick up. It is great. It doesn't feel forced or anything like that. Okay guys, that is it. I just wanted to share a couple of Wonder Woman trades that I have read. If you've read either one of these, let me know. If you know any amazing Wonder Woman storylines, let me know in the comment section below. Or the worst Wonder Woman story you've ever read. Let me know that too. I would love to hear about it. So guys, I will see you next time.